All right. Welcome, guys, to another episode of Today in Crypto Show. How are you guys doing? It's Vitaly being here, founder and creator of Bitcoin's Walls Club, and we have a lot to discuss today. As always, happy Sunday, happy start of a new week. I hope that you are doing very well. And as you can see, the market is feeling a little bit better. Today, we are seeing some positive moves. Everything is recovering slightly a bit. Bitcoin is trading at $6,359, which is 3.62% higher than it was 24 hours ago. And other cryptocurrencies are following suit bit by bit, with some of the biggest gains among the top 100 cryptocurrencies waves. 15.34%, Tezos 11%, Dentacoin 11%. Congratulations if you're holding on to these coins. Of course, we are having our gainers and losers as well, with some of those smaller cap coins. We call it small coins, small cap coins, right? Because they have low volume. Webcoin 96%, Aircoin 85%, Namecoin 50%. There's a whole bunch of them. So what is going on in the news? Wow, 1818, what a number, 1818 cryptocurrencies. It is growing like mushrooms after the rain. Bitcoin dominance is getting even higher at 15.9, almost 51%, which is, again, Bitcoin is getting more and more dominance across the market, and other altcoins is getting down, and it indicates that funds are moving into Bitcoin. So we already had that level of Bitcoin dominance like in the last couple of months of the last year. So the first thing, and make sure that you check up, I just did a live stream a couple hours ago about the 7 things that can potentially kill and destroy Bitcoin or significantly damage Bitcoin, and why it is not likely to happen at all. But you need to understand what are the dangers of Bitcoin if something can happen. And also I discussed there the future of altcoins, and also if Bitcoin is scalable. So make sure to check it out. So the news of today, guys, is Bitcoin might reach $1 trillion market cap with a price of $58,000 if ETF is approved. Of course, we're talking about the Bitcoin ETF filed by CBOE. I covered that extensively and talked about many times. It's not actually news per se, but this is the calculation, guys, that if Bitcoin ETF is going to be approved, we should expect that. And because the ETF was not rejected, it was delayed. It's probably going to be delayed several times up until February 2019. That's the deadline for this ETF to be approved or disapproved. But most likely it will be approved according to closed sources of SEC, like I covered yesterday. But Bitcoin at $58,000 will make the market cap of $1 trillion, and similarly to gold ETF, when it was approved, it followed by a lengthy bull market. We are going to expect something similar to happen once ETF will be approved, following by Ethereum ETF to be approved and other ETF-based products. But you need to keep in mind that the market is putting too much emphasis on the Bitcoin ETF, and there's some other news that came that are even bigger than the Bitcoin ETF, like the company BAKT, B-A-K-K-T, that will launch in November, that will serve as a regulated exchange in the United States. It's by the ICE, the parent company of New York Stock Exchange, which will allow traders to come on board, and even pension funds to come and invest into the crypto space, right? So lots of cool stuff is going to happen in the next 12 months for Bitcoin. That's how I see it. As you know, 17 million right now, that's about how much the circulating supply, out of which 4 million is lost, and another 20 to 30% of remaining supply is locked due to various circumstances. So about 10 million Bitcoin is actually more plausible, like circulation of how much Bitcoin we actually have. But put at 58,000 multiplied by 17 million, that's $1 trillion market cap. which is still small if you consider all the wealthy people in the world, which constitute about 118 trillion, the world's wealth. If you put just 0.5% into Bitcoin, Bitcoin will rise by 6 times into $600 billion, which is, you know, not that much considering the grander view, right? 0.5%. Okay. Now, according to Yale professors, every portfolio should have crypto, and you should see what the billionaires are investing into. And the billionaires are investing into crypto, whether overtly or covertly. And it really depends on your risk tolerance. According to their study, you should put 6% of your investment portfolio if you believe that Bitcoin cryptocurrency will do as well as they did in 2017. If you think they will do half as well, and in 2017 was a big boom of crypto, and Bitcoin has risen by 20 times in 2017. So that was pretty good year. Pretty much it was hard to lose in 2017 if you were in the crypto market. And we are not over yet. We are not over yet for 2018, although so far it has not been as good as a year so far for Bitcoin cryptocurrencies. But the best is yet to come, with lots of cool news happening in the quarter 4 of 2018 into the quarter 1st of 2019, right? We have billionaires like Mark Lazary, who thinks Bitcoin will reach $40,000 sooner rather than later, and other billionaires like Mike Novogratz, Peter Thiel, Stephen Cohen-Hobbs also invested a large portion of their money into cryptocurrencies, and all of that. Northern Trust is entering the game, a big hedge fund, custodial services with Bitcoin ETF and Bakkt. All of that stuff is some big news when it comes to the Bitcoin market. Now, another thing I want to discuss today, why Ethereum has been sinking in the last couple of weeks, reaching a low of $323. If you take a look at actual prices of Ethereum compared to the US dollars, and one of the tools I'm using is called Coinigy. I don't know why it's not opening right now. Coinigy, let it load. But it was a couple months ago around $570, and now Ethereum is trading currently at $323. So as you can see, compared to the May of $750 to today, it's losing about more than half of its valuation compared to the US dollars. And one of the reasons for that is the dumping of ICOs, and apparently they have sold nearly 100,000 Ether in the past 30 days, ICOs that has been struggling in the bear market to survive, you know. And they collected a lot of funds in the Ethereum, and they are seeing how Ethereum has been going down in value, and they just panic sold, you know, a lot of them. And around $40 million worth of Ether has been liquidated in the past month. Okay, and there is actually a company that is tracking different projects, and you can see the different projects and how much Ethereum was spent in the last 30 days. You can see Autonomy spending 12,000 Ethereum in the last 30 days, AppCoins 8.4 thousand Ethereum, Robinhood 7.2 thousand Ethereum, you know. So there's some projects that are dumping pretty sizable chunks of Ethereum, like 12,000 Ethereum in US dollars. That's about equivalent of $3.8 million currently, right? So they're cashing out their Ethereum, causing the market to plunge. And I don't know if you had made this connection for ICOs raising in Ethereum and Ethereum price in US dollar terms in the markets, and their power just based on the amount of money they've been raising in second quarter of 2018. Over $8 trillion has been raised by ICOs. Big portion of it was Ethereum based, and of course, those projects want to survive, and they want to they're waking up and seeing how a lot of their money that they raised is vanishing, is devaluing. So some of them are panicking and they're selling a big portion of their Ethereum on the market. So just be aware of that. We're having Bitcoin dominance rate hitting 50% for the first time of 2018. Again, that's indicated that money is flowing into Bitcoin and out of altcoins as Bitcoin dominance is gaining. The CEO of Binance recently had received quite a criticism from a lot of people about the listing fees, with one of the founders of one ICO, Christopher Franco, claimed that the exchange quoted him 400 Bitcoin, 2.6 million, just for listing their token onto the Binance exchange. And to that, the CEO of Binance, one of the largest exchanges for Bitcoin, said, doesn't matter if you pay us 400 Bitcoin or 4,000 Bitcoin, doesn't matter how much you pay us, it's the project. Because we've listed multiple projects like Neo and Ripple and EOS. We actually didn't quote them and listing no fee for listing them onto the exchange. So it's not how much Binance is charging to list, is the coin good enough to be listed, right? And apparently they are not listing every coin, even if they pay them money. And this email that apparently got a quote on how much Bitcoin Binance is actually charging for listing in Binance was a spoof email. It's a fake email, because Binance is claiming that they never ever quote a fee in an email. Okay, but nevertheless, it's expensive to list a coin on Binance. All right. What else we have in the news? A new crowdfunding started to find Satoshi Nakamoto, the inventor of Bitcoin. They raised so far $44 million and growing and hiring private detectives to find once and for all who created Bitcoin, because he owns about 1 million coins, and their fear is actually if he's going to go and dump all of those coins at one point. That will cause a massive crash of Bitcoin price if it's going to happen, right? But so far, the world has had no clue who Bitcoin. I mean, they had a clue, but they not found who was the real Satoshi Nakamoto. So they're trying to find it through private detectors, and hopefully they will succeed at that. We're going to see in the future. Another city is now imposing moratorium and actually saying we are not allowing crypto mining, and other cities are raising the fee for crypto miners as they're taking away the cheap power from the citizens. As this problem is getting bigger with mining, as I've told you guys, mining is an environmental problem for Bitcoin. It consumes a lot of energy, a lot of electricity, and doesn't seem to stop, just getting bigger and bigger. So many cities says, well, we're asking for too much electricity, those crypto mining firms, and that will probably inevitably cause the price of each kilowatt of electricity rise on the live market with the increased demand for mining in the space. And finally, I wanted to show you that there is a patent for sending Bitcoin payments via SMS that apparently is now issued. And that's something that I want to experiment myself. I mean, to transfer Bitcoin via SMS. I mean, how would that work? But if it works, if this technology works, it just make adoption of Bitcoin easier. More people will be sending transacting Bitcoin if it was as easy as send an SMS. Not that it's complicated. you know, to actually to send Bitcoin, but it would be nice to send Bitcoin via an SMS. And that's about it for the biggest news for today. So again, the market is right now getting slightly shaken up from the recent blow on the Bitcoin price when it was down by $2,400 in a period of about 2 weeks. Now it's slightly starting to gain upward movement again, and we can see a future drop soon in the next week or so to maybe lower levels for Bitcoin for the last time. We'll see that before the next bull run, but the next bull run will happen, and it's a question of when, probably in September, and continue on throughout the next phase of the end of the year and beginning of next year. So keep updated about this market. We're just getting started with Bitcoin. I'll see you on the next